We work, Francesca and I, who is hiding here, work at the Office of Learning Technologies. And it's good that Adriana and Antoni talked earlier, because they explain a use case on what I'm going to talk more generally, which is the process on how we integrate new learning tools within our learning environment. Our goal is to have a virtual learning environment, a classroom that fulfills the needs of our faculty and students. And this is why it's called open to the user's needs, because one of our main lessons that we learn is that when including a new learning tool within our environment, we had to work very close to the teachers. For example, we had a case where we bought a license for a tool without talking initially with professors, and nobody really wanted to use it because it wasn't meeting anyone's needs. So we changed our process to make sure that anytime we include a tool, we have professors that want to use it and students that will be able to use it as well. And the basis of how we do this, we follow learning standards, open source tools, and user-centered design. And I'm going to walk you through the process of including these tools. I don't know. Okay. So we start by gathering the requirements. As I said, we follow user-centered design techniques. We have different sources of requirements that we all need to take into account. We have the students that just want to finish their degree and pass the subjects. We have the faculty needs, which don't always match the needs of our students. We have the institutional requirements, and then our technical environment. To gather these requirements, we follow user-centered design techniques. And what we have done to be able to follow agile methodologies is to separate the four activities. So in traditional user-centered design methodology, you would first study the users and then produce design solutions and evaluate the designs. What we do is we have separated how we study the users as projects per se. So we have general projects to study our users, and then per projects we define each design solution and evaluate the solutions. Once we have these requirements, we start working very closely with faculty, like Adriana and Tony told, and we decide which is the best tool through benchmarking, like she said, which is the best tool to meet the needs of our faculty and students, and also which actions we are gonna apply to make sure that the tool is understood and that when we run the pilot test, students and faculty have the right support. As I said, our open source tools are always the first tools to be analyzed, but they don't always meet our needs, and our main goal is to really find a tool that meets our needs. And I just wanted to tell a little bit about wikis. We started using the open source tool PemeWiki and then MediaWiki, but they were both very hard to use wikis for someone that doesn't really want to learn how to use a wiki. So we end up buying Wikispaces, which has been a very, very successful experience. In one semester of just having, Wikispaces, we have had 500 wikis created. So it's been amazing, the adoption rate. Adriana knows. So once we have selected the tool and defined the actions, we go on a pilot test. We usually try to test on 3 different classrooms, and we have to find a way of providing support to these tools, which are support blogs. These blogs are used as a place where students and tutors can ask questions about how to use the tool and if they have any problem or any bug. We don't have, this process is done very fast, so that's the quickest way to provide help with the tool, because we don't have that much time to write documentation. And we are currently running a couple of pilot tests, both based on open source tools. For example, the StatusNet for microblogging and PHPBB forums for the forums. And also another lesson learned is that introducing open source tools is very different than having a different type of tool, because it's it requires you to work faster. For example, StatusNet, we have just learned that we should need keeping updating the version every 2 weeks, which is something we are not used. We have had a forums tool for 15 years now, and instead now we have to change our version, or it's outdated and doesn't work anymore for some mobile devices. So we have to change how our infrastructure works and adapt it to these very fast changing tools. Also, the forums case, when we work together with the faculty members, the PHPB forums was strongly adapted to meet our needs, which has made us that we are tied to the version that we adapted, and now there's like several versions afterwards that we cannot change because the adaptation was too big, so we have to go back and make adaptations that doesn't marry us with the version, but it's that run on top of the software tool version. So once we have gone through a semester of pilot evaluation, we again use user-centered design techniques to evaluate the tool. We interview professors generally, user test with the students, run surveys, and sometimes focus groups. And I've put these 2 steps together because what we tend to do is to run several rounds of of beta testing each type. On each pilot, we increase the number of classrooms, the number of students, and the typology of the courses, because each typology has different needs. And as tools are improved and adapted to all these needs, and then once they are ready to be automatically part of the classroom design, they are available for faculty to freely decide, I want a wiki spaces within my classroom, I want a blog or a forum tool. And then on all the way as well, what we do is to help faculty and tutors to provide support and learn about the tools. And we do so by providing screenshots with tips, short video tutorials. We also have short sessions where professors talk about their experience. We do interviews where professors talks about the experience of including a specific tool within the classroom, and that's all the information that a professor can have if they want to include, like what's for a wiki, how can I include a wiki, how can it be used, how does it work. And to finish with, we have now like a learning environment and interoperable and sustainable in a way that we make sure that the tools are used, and that each semester we have more and more users behind each tool. We have, as I said, wiki spaces as the main wiki tool. We have WordPress as the blogs. We have an all forum tool, but we are moving to PHPBB. We also have the Moodle environment available to our faculty members. And that's mostly what I wanted to tell. And I just wrote that we are based on open source standards, interoperability in a very agile process. And that's all.
Any questions? I was standing up because I could hardly see the screen.
No, I was looking.
Any questions or comments? Please.
Please.
Yeah, go ahead.
I don't know if I missed something. You're talking about users' needs, right?
Mm-hmm.
So how do you know the users' needs?
We use user-centered design techniques.
I mean, pardon?
That's what I talked about at the beginning. So what we do is on the student side, what we do is we run focus groups, or we do contextual inquiry. We use different techniques to learn the characteristics of our students. That's on one side, and then we work very close to professors to know which are their needs.
Right. The question is, like, when you, I don't know if I missed something, right? But when you talk about the whole
Yes.
cycle, right? It's the faculty
Mm-hmm.
takes every decision, not the students, right?
So the faculty takes a decision on the on which tool,
Yeah.
and we have the background on how our students are. So that's what I said, that we have separated the analysis of our students to be able to be more agile. If we were going to do the whole user-centered design process within each project, it would take too much time. So we as a department know very well who our students are, which are their needs, and how they are. And then we work closely to the faculty to meet their needs. And we combine both. And then once the tool is tested, it's on the pilot test, which means that 150 students are using it. Then we run user tests and interviews and surveys to make sure that the tool meets the needs of our students.
Thank you.
Anyone else?
So it seems like your faculty are very open to the testing, which is great because a lot of us don't face that. Do you feel any pushback from them that they're continuously testing new things and they don't want to be the beta testers after a couple of semesters?
Yes and no. On one hand, yes, it's sometimes hard to find a faculty that wants to test a tool, but the drive comes from them. So it's not us pushing new tools, it's them starting the process. So that makes a difference. And we might try have problems on the second round of pilot tests that we want to enlarge and the amount of teachers testing. So both.
Okay, I guess that's it. Thanks again for your presentation.